3, 2.
You're counting down, so I thought you were going to start talking first. No? Okay.
This week, every week, it's just the same old song and dance. I'll start the show. Welcome to Kelly and Murray. It is college football week 7, NFL week 6. We are still alive in Survivor, though the next 3 weeks is going to be an absolute and utter gauntlet. We'll get to that on the recap. We also got the mailbag to end the show. I've got about 5 dogs on my possible parlay list. Got some sharp action, hopefully, from John Murray. And I'd like to address why the fuck I'm getting just completely obliterated in these NFL games.
What are you talking about? Are you saying that you're not off to a good start this season?
No, I'm not.
Because some guy sent an X that I was X'd on, and he said like, "Oh, Kelly's hitting 40% or some bullshit."
Maybe in the Westgate Super Contest, I am picking 5 games a week. It's not been fun. I'd actually have to look. That is actually terrifying to me. I haven't even opened the standings, frankly.
Okay.
It's not been very much fun. I'll say that much.
I saw a tweet or an X, it used to be called Twitter, about how the public was having like its best 5-week start in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. Because I know every Sunday when we grade all the afternoon games and we look at the Sunday night game, it's just like, oh shit. Like, don't underdogs ever win in this dumb league? It's just the same thing every weekend. All the favorites win, and it goes to the favorite on the Sunday night game. A couple of weeks ago, the Steelers beat the Raiders for us, but the last 2 Sunday nights were not pretty.
Yeah, no, it just hasn't been great. And now I'm on the Super Contest webpage, and I'm trying to search for my name, and it's not even there. That's how bad I'm doing. No, I'm just kidding. Prior to week 4, because you guys update the standings, I thought on Tuesdays, but it's only through week 4. I went 4-1 that week, which was nice.
That seems really
9
good.
and 11 on the season. I don't even remember what I played last week in the Super Contest, if we're being honest. Picking 5 games is really hard to do. As I have said on the show that I do with Pam, I usually only play my best bets. Sometimes there's a couple of best bets because I really don't have a way to define why one is a higher play than another. I'm a flat bettor. I'm not like 3 units on this, 2 units on that. Usually I'm a flat bettor. And maybe I'll put a little bit more on a best bet or sprinkle on a money line. This week I like a lot, actually, which is
so you
not
don't even
good.
You don't even know what you played in week 5?
Well, I'm in a lot of contests.
You're not taking the contest seriously. You don't even know what your picks were as a few days ago.
Well, I'm in like 5 office football pools. I'm in
illegal.
The Westgate. I'm in another contest in town.
Okay.
In the pick 5 that I am in last week, I did a whole bunch of different ones. Because, here's the thing. In the office football pools, the lines sometimes come out on Mondays, right? So there was a great number on the Titans at a pick'em, right? They closed, a 2.5-point favorite. So, of course, I played the Titans in a stale line, and it didn't even matter.
So that office football pool, that's for entertainment purposes only, obviously, right?
All of this is for entertainment purposes only, of course.
Of course.
I went 2-3 in that set office football pool. I had the Bears plus 6.5 on Thursday night, lost Tennessee pick'em, had Atlanta minus 1.5, lost the Rams, and I had Minnesota plus 5.5. That I also lost.
Minnesota plus 5.5. Wow, that was a good.
That's what I mean.
So what's the deal now with the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, I know this is going to upset some people. Are we supposed to go into these Chiefs games thinking that they're just going to get every call, and we all just have to accept that that's how it is now? Like, because that's how it was with the Patriots for a long time, and it just kind of became the norm. And now do we just have to accept that that's the reality with Kansas City? I mean, I don't really care about the Chiefs or anything. I don't have a problem with them. But
I don't care either.
Is that just how it is now? That like the guy takes his helmet off and the ref goes over to him and is like, "Hey man, put your helmet back on." I mean, is that the world we live in now for the Chiefs?
I'm not really sure what world I live in right now. Currently, I am in hell. I am in gambling hell, and it's not been great. So, yeah, I'm going to say that probably we are going to see the second coming of the Patriots dynasty in Kansas City. And yes, there are certain people that are not going to get calls, and there are going to be certain quarterbacks you're not allowed to touch. And
well, they've already got the best player of the generation, and they've got a great coach, and they've got some stars on both sides of the ball. Their tight end, regardless of what you think of him personally, Kelly, is very good. But now they also have to get all the calls in every game. And like that actually helped us out on Sunday Night Football for the survivor pool that we're in together. But I don't know why they called defensive holding on Sauce Gardner, which extended that drive. That was a bad call. And then on Sunday, there was that no call. It was obviously pass interference in the end zone. Should have been first and goal at the 1 for Minnesota. No call. And then L'Jarius Sneed took his helmet off, and the ref told him to put it back on. Whatever. I mean, whatever. But I mean, is this what we're doing now? The league we've moved it from New England to Kansas City. If that's what it is, I just want to know so I can move forward.
I don't know. Okay, I just got my Super Contest record. I am 11-14. That is not 40%. It's not good. No. It's not 40%. Again, math is hard, and it's not been a fun run, and I'm not trying to hide from that. But
do you want to talk? What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the survivor pool or Mario?
I don't want to talk about. I'm talking about Mario Cristobal. So I'm blue in the face today. I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm in a college football wins league. You were in it one year. You won it.
Yes.
And me and my partner have Miami. So I was at home after work and I just happened to be watching that game. What the fuck is he doing? What is he doing?
I don't know. He doesn't understand clock management. B, he doesn't understand basic rules of football. But if you are one of the players on that offense, don't you say, hey, coach, aren't we supposed to take a knee here? Or are you not allowed to do that? Who is the offensive coordinator for Miami? I would have to Google that off the top of my head. But
I don't know.
Where was he to say, what the fuck are we doing?
But I even X'd about it because I was watching it and I thought they're gonna say he was down. So I X'd like, oh my God, that was so dumb, but Miami's gonna get away with it. Because I was watching the replay and it looked to me like he was down. But I guess they decided there wasn't enough to overturn the call on the field. And then for some reason the defensive backs decided to let receivers get behind them. It was incredible. That was an incredible loss. I don't know what to say.
There's nothing you can say. And I also think it would be different had he not done it before at Oregon versus Stanford.
Yeah. The quarterback, Van Dyke is a veteran. He should have just taken the snap and put his knee down.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, did Tyler Van Dyke not say, hey, coach, what are we doing here?
And the running back, too. I think the running back deserves some of the blame because he was fighting for like an extra half a yard as both coaching staffs were getting ready to jog out onto the field. This guy's struggling forward to get an extra half yard, and he fumbles the ball. I think he gets 1% of the blame. Mario Cristobal and the coaching staff gets the other 99%. That was incredible, an incredible loss. They want us to talk about Josh McDaniels and his love for field goals. I'm not going to say the second thing, though, because this looks like an opinion of John Hoagland's. He says Jordan Love sucks.
Of course he does. Listen, here's the thing. I gave out Daniel Carlson over 1.5 field goals. I know how much Josh McDaniels loves kicking field goals. Yeah. And then he missed 2 field goals. Well, in fairness, one of them was tipped. But still, should have easily gotten 2 field goals. I let Grandma, maybe a little bias, tell me that she liked Jordan Love to throw 2 touchdown passes. We did a little fantasy lineup, if you will.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. I had a very good opportunity if Jimmy G just didn't throw interceptions to maybe go over that Josh Jacob receptions. But then at that point, they just had to abandon throwing the ball because we just cannot trust him. You cannot trust that entire Raiders team. I will say, however, I did tease both sides of that one, depending on what day it was. I ended up teasing the Packers on Monday night. I'm happy with the result. Trash game. I got to go to bed at halftime because I knew that it was just going to be horrible. And why would I not want to get more sleep?
What do you think of Jimmy G, personally?
Like about him as a person? I've never
Yeah.
met him as a person.
Maybe what do you think of his looks?
Of course he's hot. I mean, that's not up for debate. I think
So
most
that's why.
women
Is
would
that why
agree
you
with
bet
that.
him? Is that why you bet him?
Yeah, yes. I did not bet him at all. I just said I could not bet this Raiders team. I teased both sides. So I teased the Raiders early in the week when they were a dog, and then the line flipped. Packers ended up being dog, and I said neither one of these teams is built to blow out other teams. That's really the problem here. Is these two teams are both shitty. So yes, Jordan Love sucks, but Jimmy G also is a turnover machine. It is what it is. Are we going to talk about? Are we going to think about selling our Survivor entry? It's worth like $5,000 at this point.
Well, no, it's not.
I need all the money I can get because it's just been an absolute utter bloodbath of
our Survivor entry is not worth $5,000 because we already used all the good teams.
Oh,
so not every entry in Survivor has the same implied value.
Okay,
We've
good
used
point.
all the good teams already because in my
that's the only reason why we're still alive.
Yeah, I know
if
that.
you
In
try
my
to get
other
cute and
entries-
use crappy teams.
Yeah. Well, I lost all those entries. Every
See?
time I tried to veer away from like the biggest favorites on the board, I would lose. The Redskins
Except for the Jags.
The Redskins got absolutely killed on Thursday night by the Bears. They didn't even bother to show up for the first half of the game.
They didn't bother to show up at all.
Knocked out my other entry. The only way I can win in this pool is to take teams that are laying like minus 1,000 money lines.
Perfect.
I think we're gonna have to go with the Rams on
Yeah,
Sunday.
because I don't want to take the Jags this week. That's for sure.
No, I think the Rams are the good play. So I've said this before, maybe not on this show, but I think a much harder Survivor pool would be where you can only pick a team to lose one time. That'd be really hard because I've been looking at what me and you should do, and I don't want to look too far ahead, but week 6, Kelly and I are almost definitely going to play the Rams. They're at home against Arizona. No James Conner for the Cardinals, and then week 7, Kelly and I are almost definitely going to play the Seahawks.
And then week 8, we're almost definitely going to have to play the Chargers.
And the Chargers are playing on Sunday Night Football against the Bears.
We're so screwed. One of those three is going to lose outright.
I know they are. I know they
It's going to suck. See, that's why we should sell it for $5,000. There's somebody that will give us $5,000 for that Survivor entry.
Nobody's going to
went out like week 1.
Nobody's going to give us $5,000 when we already used the 49ers, Bills, Dolphins, and Chiefs. I don't even know if it's worth $1,000.
The 3 best teams on first down, four best teams on first down, and then we have to save the Eagles for Christmas because that's our only option left. Yeah, I mean maybe they will.
On the plus side, we're pretty set on Thanksgiving, kid. We got Dallas and Detroit.
Yeah, but one of those teams is going to lose outright. I just haven't figured out who.
So that's all we got there. Jordan Love sucks. Do you want to go to college football?
Yeah, why not?
They've got the big games. Oregon-Washington is an awesome game. That's a big rivalry in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be really, really good. What do you think of USC-Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think I like Notre Dame here. I wish I would have taken Louisville last week. I thought about it. Definitely on my long list. I wussed out. 5 turnovers, of course. Now, that wouldn't have happened if I took Louisville. Because every time I bet against Notre Dame this year, I've just gotten obliterated, and Sam Hartman's played his ass off. I laid 2.5 with Notre Dame already this week.
Notre Dame last week was in a tough spot. You know, they had the Ohio State game, then the Duke game, which they were lucky to win. They got USC looming the following week, and they've got to go at Louisville. Really, really tough schedule for the Irish. I like them too on Saturday. Caleb Williams can't do it all by himself. USC really should have lost on Saturday night to Arizona in a game that every money line parlay on Saturday went to USC.
Of course they did.
That would have been awesome for us. But Caleb pulled it out, and what was that, like 3 or 4 OTs?
I don't know. I just quit watching at one point in time because I had no action on it. I was hoping they were going to lose outright too, just for fun. But now there's a great spot to bet against them. Mm-hmm. Chris Felica, did you see his tweet about 6-0 teams and losing outright? So that actually applies to Louisville and to USC this week. So I'm betting against both of those teams. So I'm taking Pittsburgh and laying it with Notre Dame. We'll see. I think this Irish defense is the real deal. Hopefully, Sam Hartman can play relatively turnover-free. USC, their defense, they can't stop anybody. I'm not saying that Notre Dame is some powerhouse offense, but they're going to ground and pound it. As long as it doesn't become a track meet, I like the Irish.
What about this game? Miami and North Carolina. Miami should be undefeated coming into this game. Nobody at the University of Miami has ever heard of Herman Edwards. When the game gets to the end, you just knee on the ball, and then you win, and you go to the next
Play
game.
to win the game.
Miami, North Carolina, and then UCLA at Oregon State. So pretty good college football this week. I don't really have anything on any of those 4 games to talk about, but I want to talk about your picks and the hottie threesome. What was the hottie threesome last week?
I'm so frustrated. So the long list last week was Wyoming, Marshall, Louisville, Mizzou, Cal, Rutgers, Oklahoma. And I went with Marshall, Mizzou,
Okay.
pick 6 loser, Oklahoma. Had I gone Wyoming, Louisville, Oklahoma, it would have hit. But I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I got a text. One of our risk guys, Dominic Picardle. I don't know if you know
Yes,
Dom.
I know Dom.
He texted me and he's like, hey, what should I do? This is how much we lose on the hottie threesome. And I didn't even know
that
it was
after
up
Oklahoma
yet.
won and Marshall looked really good? And
No.
Looked really good?
No, this was before it all started.
Oh.
And because I guess you approved a boost of it.
No, I asked for a boost and I got a boost, and then I got complaints that the boost went away. So I need to know the parameters here.
Yeah,
we have to.
The boost went away because we were going to lose a fortune on it. I didn't. No one mentioned any of this to me.
No one mentioned any of this to me.
Oh well. Anyways, Dominic, former employee now.
How much were you guys going to lose on the parlay?
I can't get.
Not enough. Not
I
enough.
can't get any numbers. Have you narrowed down this week's threesome?
I got 4 teams. Pat Narduzzi. No, I'm not playing all 4, but these are the 4 possibilities.
Okay.
Pat Narduzzi, absolutely and utterly terrifying. Homecoming week, better defense, better special teams, 0 quarterback play. So it's going to be really hard for them to win that game, but I do think that they cover for sure. Hawaii +6, playing against San Diego State. On the island, we'll see how that goes. Auburn +12. I don't know if Auburn can win this game because they don't have enough offensive prowess to do much of anything. And that's kind of my issue. I think this is way too many points. LSU obviously very lucky last week to get out of Columbia with a win. Final score, not exactly indicative of what actually happened there. We shall see if I end up getting to the window with them. And then the last one is Colorado State.
Jay Cornigan.
Yeah, Boise State.
Yeah.
Broncos are not good as a favorite, right? We know that. They're also not good away from the blue turf. We'll see kind of how this one plays out over the next day or so. There's a couple other dogs I looked at, but too short. Oklahoma State +3.5. I also looked at Miami, but I don't think I'm going to end up getting to the window with them. And then, of course, Nevada. Nevada's not going to win that game outright. Nevada doesn't win football games. I know UNLV has been a cover machine. I'd love, and I probably will take the 9.5 in that rivalry game, but Nevada can't win that game, right? I mean,
it's a perfect lead in. That's why Kelly is a media professional, because I'm going to spin you through the wise guy action I've seen for week 7 of college. We'll start right there. Nevada +10 against UNLV, really sharp side. We're down to 9. Iowa +10. They're at Wisconsin. Here's an interesting one. Virginia Tech. They laid 1 and 1.5.
I'd like to stop really quick because I had Iowa on my long list to start the week. I actually wrote a giant cross out through them because
How long
I cannot.
is the long list? Is that the whole long list?
Oh no, this is all my notes and everything. I handwrite everything. My list was probably 11 games that I did on the plane on Monday morning. I don't understand that Iowa line. What am I missing?
I don't know, but we saw sharp guys on Iowa, Virginia Tech. They're at home against Wake. They laid 1 and 1.5. And one more in Kelly's conference, TCU -5 against Baylor. That's
BYU?
I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me, TCU. I actually wrote Baylor. Against
BYU. You saw sharp money on TCU -5.5, 4.5.
Yeah, -5.
Okay,
TCU
-5.
-5. So I just wrote the wrong. Yeah, you're right. So Virginia Tech, Nevada, Iowa, TCU, college sharp action report for week 7. This is only week 6 of the NFL. So we have to sit through 13 more weeks of this garbage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
God.
correct. And if it doesn't turn, I'm not going to make it. So, yeah.
You want to go through what are the big games this week in the NFL? I guess it would be the Sunday night game is horrible.
It's all horrible.
The Monday night games, it's a pretty good Monday night game. Dallas at the Chargers. That's one of the better Monday night games of the year. The Ravens play the Titans in London.
Yeah. The Chargers and Cowboys is gonna be a great game. Great coaching there in that one. I can't wait to watch and see who screws up worse.
What's with this new trend of ex-players just coming out and saying that current players suck? Like first it was Rodney Harrison taking shots at Zach Wilson, then Dante Whitner. He just came out and just said Dak Prescott sucks. Like, is that appropriate?
I mean, listen, like I told everybody, like Twitter 2009-ish, we just said whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of these guys who maybe weren't on social media back then and wanted to say things, now they feel like, well, I don't care. They're not in media or they're just rich and they can just say whatever they want.
What's your NFL best bet? Last week it was the Rams.
Yeah, and this week it's the Rams again.
Really?
Yeah, it's gross. I'm not a big chalk eating weasel, as we all know. The only other chalk play I played this year was the Bills -2. Look, the Rams, while they got shut out in the second half last week, they did hold the Eagles to 2 field goals. Cooper Kupp did come back, had a nice game.
Yeah.
They kind of double teamed Puka a little bit. Eagles played, I would say, well. I had multiple opportunities to cover that game. The Rams did. Backdoor was wide open, and Sean McVay didn't even try. I didn't understand that really. And that's fine, right? You have the Rams who basically own the Cardinals in this series. As we said, we're probably taking the Rams in Survivor.
Yeah.
I think this is a Rams team coming off a loss, a Cardinals team that is not tanking, but I think the cream is rising to the top right now, especially in the AFC West. And I think that's what we're going to see here. Last 2 games, look, Gannon looked good against former NFC East teams. And then now he's played the Bengals and the Niners, and he hasn't looked good. Cardinals defense, definitely a little suspect for having a defensive-minded head coach. And hopefully they stay suspect. I made the game 34-24, which is absolutely and utterly terrifying to think that I have to watch this.
Why is that terrifying? A 10-point win, that sounds like a comfortable win.
No, because that means the back door is probably going to be open, and I'm going to get,
But I don't care because if we use them in Survivor, I just want them to win.
Yeah,
so
well,
I don't care if they get
historically, if you look at the last 5 years that I've been doing media on a full-time basis, 6 years now, I've been doing media on the full-time basis, 5 seasons. Last year, 13-5 in my best bets. Year before, 12-6. Year before, 12-5, or whatever the year it was when we started having 18 games. I mean, I have had really good success with my best bets, and they've all been tracked at WagerTalk and on the shows, and it's just garbage this year. It's just garbage.
The NFL,
and I'm not very happy about it.
The NFL, it's really hard to pick winners in the NFL. You're beating yourself.
I'm only picking one. It's not like I'm like giving out 5 picks. I think picking 5 games against the spread in the Super Contest is really hard.
It is. Let me spin you through some sharp NFL plays. Thursday night, Kelly's Broncos are going to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Should be an interesting game. They bet us the under. They bet us under 47.5 in that game. I mentioned this game Sunday morning in London. Titans Ravens. Excuse me, I can't read my own writing today. Titans Ravens over 40. So another total there, over 40 the Titans Ravens game.
Over London, huh? That seems interesting, bucking the trend there of the snooze fest.
2 sides, both AFC South teams. Houston plus 2.5 against the Saints. Houston's playing pretty well. They could have easily won on Sunday in Atlanta. CJ Stroud is the real deal.
That looks great.
And Indianapolis, they took 5 against Jacksonville. Looks
Yeah,
like
Colts
Gardner
was really
Minshew.
really
Gardner
close to
Minshew
being my
goes.
best bet. But remember what happened
Jacksonville.
last time I took the Colts versus Jacksonville?
Well, Jacksonville just spent the last 2 weeks in Europe. Now they come back home, where their last game they lost to Houston. They got blown out by Houston, actually. Their last game in Jacksonville. They host the Colts on Sunday. Minshew in. Anthony Richardson, they say, he's out for 4 to 8 weeks. So I don't know why we would even consider using Jacksonville in Survivor.
No.
I know you like the Colts. I've seen sharp guys on the Colts. I don't trust Jacksonville at all. I think it's an easy decision for us this week. The Rams against the Cardinals.
I think it's the only decision this week, unless you want to lay 3 with the Raiders, Raiders laying 3. We know Mac Jones, terrible underdog. Bill Belichick, this man is like a shell of his former self. Like he is in hell with me. He and I, Bill Belichick, we could just be best friends right now because we're both in like the same boat.
Yeah, I figured Bill Belichick's making like $12 million a year. He has 6 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, that probably helps him.
We might have a different definition of hell, me and you. That doesn't sound that bad.
That's fair.
Josh McDaniels up by 4. He decided to kick a 52-yard field goal to move it from a 1-score game to a 1-score game. And they missed, and then Jordan Love threw a pick. Raiders, a good result for me. Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah, I laughed a lot.
Do you want to do the mailbag? The first question is for you.
The first question's for me. Oh, I missed that. Big. Wait, that doesn't say big. It says B.
Yeah.
J. Is that okay? Well, anyway, for Bob says, what's KFV's record this year? Can't be more than 40%. We already addressed this one.
What's your best bet? What's your best bet record?
That is not 40%. You're correct. My best NFL bet record is not. It's 1-4.
Well, that's bad. I think that's actually 20%, Kelly.
Yeah, that's really bad.
So no, big for Bob. It is not more than 40%. It's 20%.
Yeah, I told you my best bet record has been absolutely and utterly atrocious. Teasers have been the only thing that has kept me from jumping off my roof.
Do you feel like you get too emotional about these NFL games? I mean,
no.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's just the NFL. Who cares? It's only money.
All right,
okay.
Read the next one.
So the next one is, sorry, I had something else open. Shocker. Poker Mark 2 wants to know, how do you feel about an all-Texas ALCS? That's not a question for me.
How do I feel about it? Or how...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy about it because I bet Texas in the series against Baltimore. So personally, I'm happy about it. Although we don't want to see Houston win the World Series.
Of course not.
That would not be good for our futures. But I'm a Washington Nationals fan because I'm from the DC area. I think we're one of the only fan bases that doesn't hate Houston because the Nationals beat them in the World Series. I don't have any animosity towards the Astros. I know a lot of other fans, like the Dodgers fans, hate them, and the Yankees hate them. I don't care about that.
Yeah, but those teams are so hateable themselves. So I know nothing. I've watched half a baseball game this year, and that's because I was in person.
What about the other half?
No, I only watched half.
Oh, okay. Well, I
went to the beer garden that's also known as the Kettle One Club. And I was drinking vodka lemonades because it was a beautiful day. There was nothing going on. It was 2 trash teams. It was like a dead under. No reason to watch.
I really enjoyed this baseball season because
good.
My Nationals, they overachieved. They went way over their win total, and they developed all these young players, and it was really fun. And then I sat down to watch the playoffs, and I've been having to watch the Phillies with Bryce Harper and Trey Turner in the playoffs. And it's been my version of hell. I really want to see the Phillies lose. I don't like the Phillies, and I don't want to see Bryce Harper and Trey Turner win the World Series.
I like Bryce Harper.
They're ex-Nationals.
Oh, yes, they are.
No.
Well, it's not their fault they got traded away.
Bryce Harper signed as a free agent.
Okay, great. All right, here's one that John Hoagland put in the chat.
Yeah.
At Talt's the results. I don't know. Anyway, I often hear in a bar or read on X that the fix is in or Vegas is on the phone. How many of those phone calls does John Murray take on a given Sunday? Also, now that Buffalo has a Naked City Pizza, what excuse does KIV have to not attend a Bills game? Good point. I actually got invited to Bills Broncos, and the Broncos suck so bad. I said, "Nah, I'm good." So, I'm going to be in the Bahamas that week, but
breath of brag.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. We don't get on the phone with the NFL that much anymore.
Why not?
And tell them what to do. I don't know. I guess they've got bigger fish to fry. Like that's me on the phone saying, "Hey, whatever you do, make sure the Kansas City Chiefs get every single call so they can cover the spread."
Oh yeah, that's what you want to happen. Yeah. Got it. Yes. So that you lose your job because you don't know how to book the game. Got it.
It's great. It's great that the Chiefs got every call and we got murdered on that game. That was the call that I made. Yes.
At DGen for Life 84 on X says, "Is Baker good enough to knock off the Lions this weekend at Raymond James?" Look, sharp money came in on the Bucks, didn't it? Didn't it open 4.5? It's like 3 now.
Well, I don't see why not. I don't know why Tampa Bay couldn't win that game, but
yeah, I don't know why they couldn't beat the Eagles either, but they didn't.
Detroit is pretty impressive. You go back to the start of the year, they won at Kansas City. They lost that home game to Seattle. That was a really back and forth game. I think it went to overtime, but they manhandled the Packers in Lambeau on a Thursday night. Detroit looks really good. Dan Campbell, PC principal, maybe a candidate for coach of the year, right? I mean, he's doing a great job. Jared Goff,
I think he's doing an excellent job. You know who's not candidate for coach of the year? Yeah, that's Todd Bowles. You know who also has been absolutely trash at Raymond James, and I know because I've been in most of these games, the Bucks, 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 home games. Come on.
Isn't Todd Bowles in first place?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Wait a minute. Didn't Todd Bowles have Tom Brady retire and he's in first place without Tom Brady? You don't think he's a candidate for coach of the year?
South.
Yeah, well, can't control his division.
I don't know.
Kelly.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If they play on Sunday afternoon like they did against the Eagles, they're going to get their asses kicked. I think one of the things that we have to stop looking at right now until the tides turn is right now the teams that are passing the eye test are the teams that are covering the spread. And that's why the public is doing so well.
Yeah. Well,
the teams that pass the eye test, the Niners, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Lions. Teams that do not pass the eye test, the Browns, the Giants, the Jets, the Pats.
Yeah, well, yeah, the 49ers are right now, they're kind of at a different level.
I would agree with that.
All those other teams, they are very good.
I'm just saying, traditionally, I would have probably been on the Bucks. But this team does not pass the eye test for me. As I said, I watched them get punched in the mouth by Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts threw 2 picks in that game. If you looked at the stat line, you would have thought it would have been much closer. But offensively, Baker Mayfield did not do anything. I think this Lions team is very well-rounded. Now, granted, could they still be the same old Lions here and there? Sure. But we'll see. David Montgomery should be back 100%. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown was out against the Panthers. I know that because he's on my fantasy team. Of course, that's why I lost by like 1.6. If he would have been in, it might have been different. That being said, I got to figure out if he's going to be back or not. And maybe that's part of the reason for the line move. Maybe he's going to be out again.
Was that a long enough answer for at DGen for Life 84? That was a long answer.
That was a long answer. Nick Perella on Instagram wants to know, what's your favorite trend to blindly back on any given college football slate? That's tough. I don't think
I do
blindly.
What do you do blindly? Do you do the thing where you play like if the unranked team is favored?
Yeah, that's fun. There's a good one.
Like
Unranked versus ranked. Now, granted, they've still got to fit all of the other parameters, but that's like almost that's at least getting written down. Like, wait, there's a unranked team laying points. I'm going to write them down and look at them for sure.
Nobody
Last
in
week
Las
was
Vegas.
UCLA. They had like 3 touchdowns called back. They still covered. Thank God. Because it's about the only
Nobody
bright
in Las
spot
Vegas
on my Saturday.
cares about the rankings, guys. Just remember that. No one's looking at rankings when they're setting lines for college football games.
All right. And then they added a question that was here from last week that I ignored last week because it's
I
a
like this
dumb
question.
question.
No, it's
Why?
not. It's a good
It doesn't
question.
make any sense. Why would you add
Yes,
a favorite
it
to an underdog parlay? What?
Because it doesn't have to be an underdog parlay. It's just a parlay.
That's what it is.
But
It's an underdog parlay. I've never done a moneyline favorite parlay in my life.
Yeah, but what if you mixed in 2 dogs with a favorite? Do you want me to read the question? You're blinking kind of aggressively.
You can, but it doesn't make sense. It's an underdog parlay. Why would I mix in a favorite?
I'm going to read the question because I think it makes sense. It's from @TBlake22226, possible fake name, on X. He says, Kelly, why don't you ever have a favorite with a big spread to cover with your dogs in your parlay picks, Kelly?
With your dogs.
Oh. Yeah, with your dogs. So you'd have a favorite. So you could have like one.
Oh, so I'd have like Alabama minus 1,100 with my 2 underdogs bigger than a touchdown that would absolutely basically do nothing.
No, that's not true. If you had 2 dogs, it would still pay a lot. And Alabama would probably win. Can you think about it?
There's a point where it basically breaks even. I'd have to do my little parlay calculator because my brain doesn't work that well.
Me neither.
Clearly, it's broken right now.
Mine
but in
too.
all seriousness, what is it? Minus 1,500? At a point, it is actually a detriment.
All right. Well, I like.
What's the break even? Come on, Mr. Bookmaker. You don't know that off the top of your head?
I don't even know what you're saying. I don't even know who Alabama's playing this week.
It's not this week. It's just in general. Why are you this way?
I don't know. I have a lot of problems. Who is Alabama playing this week?
We're not talking anymore.
John
Murray. John Murray. You thought, first of all, you wrote down the wrong team that TC was playing.
I know.
And now this week, yeah.
Why can't you answer the question? Do you not know, or are they on a bye?
I have no idea who they're playing.
Oh,
0.
I don't know either.
Nope. No clue.
All right. Well,
couldn't possibly know. And a big SEC rivalry. No,
they're playing a big SEC rival?
No, I don't think it's that big of a rivalry. I think it's bigger for one side than the other. You really don't know. I
didn't actually look at any of the games until like 30 minutes ago to prep for this show.
Don't you have to have don't you have a meeting where you help set these lines?
I don't have time to look at any of this stuff. You know how much nonsense we work on all day?
Okay. You told me years ago when we started the show, you sat in a room with Jay, Ed, a couple other bookmakers, right?
That was a long time ago. That was before we were in 9 states.
Now you're way more important, and you don't do that.
I don't know who's playing each other. Why can't you just tell me who Alabama's playing?
Arkansas. It doesn't matter who they're playing. My point is I feel like you should know the slate.
I don't know. Don't have time for it. Don't have time.
What do you do all day besides watch baseball and soccer in your office?
I wish I could watch baseball and soccer. Well, I do watch soccer on the weekends, but that's before work. Liverpool games are usually at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah, you got to get up early, watch soccer.
I do.
I got it.
Do you want to tell people to like and subscribe, or what do you want to do here?
Yeah, we haven't asked people to leave us a rating for a while. I would really appreciate it. Like and subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Leave us a comment. Tell us how much you hate us. Yeah. How John Murray's always unprepared for the show. How he really has great lighting today. Not such great audio because we had to do it on his iPhone. Yeah. Let us know how many stars we're worth on Apple Podcasts. Sorry, we're not on. There was like some other one. The guy was like, I didn't know you're back because you're not on X, Y, and Z network. And I'm like, yeah, because that's for people with Androids.
What channels where is the show available? Like, if I was looking to listen to the show, where would I go?
The WagerTalk YouTube channel.
Okay. WagerTalk.
Twitter.
X.
Apple Podcasts.
You don't even know. You're making this up. You don't know.
I'm not making it up.
You don't know.
I used to have to upload this shit. Luckily, now we have like interns and media people.
We have interns? D'Onofrio is a full-time employee. He's not an intern.
No, we have. What? Okay.
All right. That's it. We're using the Rams. Is that correct?
We're using the Rams. We don't have other options. I mean, I don't want to take the Jags. I don't want to take the Raiders. I'm damn sure not taking the Vikings.
The Vikings without Justin Jefferson?
Or the Falcons.
The Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson for the next 4 weeks. That's the only good thing about that football team. We're not taking
Then why the hell are they 2.5-point road favorites?
because the Bears suck unless I
But
use
the Bears
the
looked really
Redskins.
good on Thursday night.
Yeah,
And
unless
I
I use
want to
the
play
Redskins and survive.
so bad, but I can't do it. The Vikings and the Vikings and the Broncos are two teams I cannot lay points with. I refuse.
The only way that the Bears can show up for a game is if I use their opponent in Survivor, and that's happened to me now.
So you and I, that's the last one you own, right?
Yeah, all my other ones are out because every time I didn't take like a 14-point favorite, I'd lose. Like I couldn't even win with like a 7-point favorite. So this is it. It's just us now.
I've got 4 left, and then one
Good.
in a entertainment only league.
Why are you doing this?
With some guys in Michigan. Because you said that earlier when I said office football pool. You're like, well, that's for entertainment only. I said yes.
Okay.
So it was a $750 donation for entertainment only. And
That's
it's I think it's like 80 or 90,000, and there's 56 of us left. So I'm pretty happy about that one.
Oh shit, that's good.
So I have 5, like what I would say are, I mean, I paid more for that one than I did for splitting one with you or splitting one with Ariel and Pam. So we'll see.
Well,
I'm using the Dolphins in that one this week because we don't need to save the Dolphins for anything. I used the Lions last week. That was nice.
Well, it'd be nice to have Buffalo this week because Buffalo is at home against the Giants. The Giants put out their injury report this afternoon. No Daniel Jones, in addition to a slew of other injuries. Tyrod Taylor is going to start at quarterback until he gets hurt.
Did they go ahead and announce that?
Yeah. So
okay.
So
that would be why it's up to 14 pretty much. That would make more sense. But Tyrod's a serviceable backup. He can't be any worse than Danny Dimes.
Well, he's fine until he gets injured. And Dolphins.
You're not cheering for him to get injured, are you?
Of course not. He just gets injured every time he plays.
Okay.
And then you got the Dolphins and the Chiefs are also double-digit favorites this week. So really, really big favorites this week in the NFL. Should be interesting. Should be an interesting week. The Monday night game is good. I think I'm even going to go to Naked City to see Chris and down some wings for Monday Night Football.
Why wouldn't you go there for the Bills game?
I never watch the Sunday night games. By the time I get home on Sunday night,
it's not a Sunday night game. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
By the time I get home on Sunday night, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
For some reason, it feels like a Sunday 4 p.m. game. Sorry.
No, it's a Sunday night game. It's the Thursday game and the Sunday night game, both not very competitive.
And you think that the Brain Bowl on Monday night is going to be great? I mean, there's going to be over under 1.5 coaching blunders. That's what's going to be exciting about Monday night.
But that's what I like. People like I tweeted out that I hope the Raiders stay in the playoff race because they're funny. The Raiders are fun.
It's funny.
Something interesting happens in their games. They always come down to the end. There's always these questionable decisions. They're fun.
Yay for fun.